you are an international buyer living in Berlin, or maybe want to invest in Berlin, then this video is for you. We're now having summer 2025. I'm your expert for the Berlin real estate market, and I'm giving you the market update, how has been the first 6 months in our market, and how do we see the next 6 months gonna fall out for you guys. It doesn't matter if you want to buy or sell, that video is for you. So the first thing is, quite surprisingly, this year is a pretty good year for a lot of real estate agents, but hold on, only for people selling units below the 300, 500,000 euro price range. That market is fantastic because that usually addresses the market of people who are at the moment tenants. So there are people who are going to buy an apartment to move in themselves, because the tenant market, the rental market is very difficult. I mean, I'm sure you've realized the market is regulated. There's very little supply on the market. There's huge amount of apartments which are very expensive to rent. So a lot of people think, well, when I spend that much rent, I'd rather buy than renting. And that's exactly what's happening. So everything below the 500,000 euro price range is selling fairly quickly. So there we are in a seller's market. But in that price range, the banks are very picky. So the banks actually do check the value of these apartments, and they do want a certain deposit. And in this year, we have seen that the banks are checking every apartment. They're very complicated. They're going through all the documents, all the files. So they're very, very cautious who they lend to. And then once they've decided, yes, I'm going to lend to that particular client, they will also check the apartment in every little detail. That's great for buyers because they're pretty safe. They won't buy anything that's actually not worth it. But sellers, when they do market their apartments below the 500,000 euro price range, they have to make sure that these apartments have enough bedrooms, have enough surface, are in good condition. So it's not like it used to be 2-3 years ago, where you just could sell anything, and there will be a lot of buyers queuing up and actually having a bidding war. So that's over. So prices are not actually moving upwards. They are stabilizing in that market, and you do sell very quickly if you have the right pricing. If you go above the 500,000 euro price range, or even 1 million, that's a complete different story. The only product that's actually working for sellers, and hold on your breath, guys, this is a buyer's market now, because people who need to buy in that market, usually they come up with a big deposit and they can negotiate the price. Now, why? Just check the portals, check our website, check all the other brokers' website. You will see a lot of listings between 500 to 1 million or even above on the market. Huge supply on the market, because a lot of people are now selling in that price range. And they do sell, and they are realizing that, well, not so many people calling me. Why people are not calling me? Why I don't get enough inquiries through social media, etc., etc. The main reason there is, again, that you are not in a seller's market anymore. You are in a buyer's market. So if you are in that kind of a market as a seller or a buyer, you need to know 3 things. First of all, price it correctly. Don't believe on all these people telling you, well, my neighbor sold, my friend told me, blah, blah, blah. That's not the case anymore. Please speak to professional agents and at least get a professional valuation in. In order to do that valuation, you need to call us or any other agent which is certified. They're going to value your apartment, make sure that the property is priced in, correctly, that all the stuff is fine, the paperwork is fine. That's crazy important. And don't over expect the pricing there. It's better for you guys if you enter the market with maybe a lowball listing offer. And if you are having a great apartment, then of course people will come in, there will be a lot of buyers, and they will make offers, and the price will go up naturally. So that's what I would suggest for people selling between 500,000 and 1 million euros. That's the first thing. So price in correctly, speak to the agent to get the right price. Secondly, forget the friends, neighbors, whoever is telling you otherwise, who have never sold an apartment in their life, or maybe have sold one apartment, and the peak, which was in 2022 or 2021, that's not the case anymore today. The world has changed. So please listen to professional people. If you buy a piece of bread, you go to a bakery and not to someone else. So if you want to sell an apartment, usually you should use an agent and someone who has sold a lot of apartments in his past life. If you now look on the other market, which is a luxury market, and that's something, if you watch our forecast we have done at the beginning of this year, that has become tighter than we anticipated, because the luxury market, usually that starts around 1 million euros, is even getting tighter and tighter. So in that market end, we have a complete buyer's market. We have a huge amount of listings. We actually turn down people calling us if we don't see that the price is fair. Square meter prices have dropped, by the way, in that price range. But a lot of sellers, they just simply stick to where they are or where they want to be, and they pay fortune for marketing, for brochures, for pictures, for our social media team, but we still don't sell these units if the prices are not fair. And if you're a seller and you hire us or any other senior agent in town, then you should be aware of that the price has to work for the buyer as well in this new environment, which means 3.5% interest, 2% repayment of capital. So we talk around 6% per year on rate the buyers have to come up with. So that's a big change than a couple of years ago. And actually buyers are out there. So you have buyers for 500,000, 300,000, 700,000, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. There are enough buyers, so don't worry about them. But they have the choice. And when they come and see your apartment, they will negotiate with you as a seller, and they will also negotiate with us as agents, which is pretty normal these days. So what that means, it doesn't matter in which market segment you guys are. So below 500, below 1 million or above 1 million, you need time, a good agent, you need managing expectations with yourself, with your partner. And please also be aware of that if you sell now or if you buy now, you should budget for 10 years, maybe 20 years. So don't budget only for 1 year or 2 years, 3 years. Buying is a long-term game, and that's actually a good sign. So for all these people who are buying now, as long as you budget in 10 years or even more, you're going to make the right decision because real estate is going to work out. Definitely. And at the moment, it's a great time to buy. And sellers, if you sell these days or this year, please recall at what day you have purchased your apartment. Is it 10 years ago, 15 years ago, or 5 years ago? How much profit you already have made if you sell now, even though you might not get the same price like you might have received in 2021 or 2022, but you still get a big profit. So don't be so greedy as a seller. Be realistic as a buyer. If the property is priced in fairly and it's a great listing, a great agent, it will sell. So don't negotiate too much down. And that's the market at the moment in the year 2025. For international people, mortgages are pretty straightforward. So if you live in Berlin, then there's no problem. You get a mortgage as long as you have a blue card or a permanent residency. That's not a problem. If you are not living in Germany, not paying German income tax, then it's a bit tricky. Then there are just 2 or 3 lenders out there, and they usually expect 50% deposit of you. So a lot of equity needed. If you're a Berliner or living in Germany and you're buying real estate, even though you don't speak German or you just work for a big corporate, then usually you need around 10 to 20% deposit plus the transaction cost. I hope you like this little video, a little market update. And if you like this video, please follow us here on YouTube. Put in a little like there, comment our YouTube channel and forward it to your friends. And you also can book private appointments with us where you can show us your story, where you can explain where you want to go, why you want to invest, why you want to buy, why you want to sell. And then our agent is going to help you to make the best decision.